So picture this. It's the late 1950s, and North Korea just watched two superpowers wave nuclear weapons around like party tricks. Kim Il-sung is sitting there thinking, yeah, I want one of those. But here's the twist. It takes this country nearly 50 years, multiple broken promises, and one of the most bizarre black market smuggling operations in history to actually pull it off. It actually starts pretty quietly. In the 1950s, North Korea sets up an atomic energy research institute. But honestly, it goes nowhere fast because the Soviets aren't exactly rushing to hand over the keys. Then, in 1962, the Cuban Missile Crisis happens, and Kim Il-sung watches Khrushchev basically fold under American pressure. That's the moment paranoia sets in. If the Soviets won't even protect Cuba, who's protecting North Korea? So through the 70s, North Korea starts quietly building up its nuclear infrastructure with whatever scraps of help it can get from the Soviets and the Chinese. And in 1979, construction begins on a facility that's going to become the heart of this entire story, Yongbyon. By 1986, that reactor is up and running, officially for research, but everyone paying attention knows exactly what plutonium production actually means. Now here's where it gets interesting. In 1985, the Soviets actually pressure North Korea into joining the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. Sounds like good news, right? Except North Korea just doesn't comply. It takes until 1992 for them to even let inspectors in, and when the IAEA finally checks the numbers, the plutonium math doesn't add up. Something's missing, and everyone in the room knows what that something probably is. So in 1993, North Korea threatens to just walk away from the NPT entirely. And honestly, that scares everyone enough to sit down and negotiate. In 1994, the US and North Korea signed the agreed framework. North Korea agrees to freeze the Yongbyon reactor and halt construction on two larger reactors. And in exchange, they get help building two light water reactors plus 500,000 tons of heavy fuel oil annually. For a hot minute, it actually looks like this might be over. Spoiler, it is not over. Here's the part that barely anyone talks about, and it's honestly one of the wildest side stories in the entire nuclear age. While North Korea's plutonium program is technically frozen, they start working a completely different angle, uranium enrichment, and they get help from a man named A.Q. Khan, the same guy behind Pakistan's bomb. Between roughly 1997 and 2000, Khan's network reportedly hands North Korea centrifuge designs and actual centrifuge parts, allegedly in exchange for missile technology. It's basically a black market nuclear trade route running right under the world's nose. Fast forward to 2002, and things fall apart fast. The US confronts North Korea about this secret uranium program. Tensions spike, and on January 10, 2003, North Korea officially withdraws from the Non-Proliferation Treaty altogether. No more pretending. On February 10, 2005, they flat out announce they possess nuclear weapons and refuse to return to disarmament talks. And then, on October 9, 2006, deep underground at a test site called Punggye-ri, North Korea detonates its first nuclear device. Now, that first test? It wasn't exactly impressive. US intelligence officially assessed the yield at less than 1 kiloton. Some analysts even put it as low as half a kiloton, which strongly suggested the device fizzled instead of detonating properly. But here's the thing about nuclear weapons programs. You don't need a perfect bomb to send a message. You just need the world to know you have one at all. The UN slaps down sanctions almost immediately, but does that stop anything? Not even close. North Korea keeps testing, 2009, 2013, then a rapid burst in 2016 and 2017 that genuinely terrifies the region. Each test gets stronger, Each one gets more refined, and by the time you hit the 2017 tests, we're talking about yields that some analysts believe crossed into thermonuclear territory. So why does North Korea keep pushing when the sanctions are crushing their economy? Same reason as basically every country in this series: deterrence. Kim Jong-un has watched what happens to regimes without nuclear weapons, and he's made it very clear he doesn't intend for North Korea to be one of them. And to keep the program funded, North Korea's been accused of some genuinely wild tactics: cyber attacks, sanctions evasion, even crypto theft. Today, North Korea is estimated to hold around 50 nuclear warheads, making it one of 9 nuclear-armed states on Earth. And unlike Israel's quiet ambiguity from our last episode, North Korea has gone the completely opposite direction: loud, public, and unapologetic about every single test. It's the same goal as every country in this series, achieved through arguably the most defiant path of them all. So that's the story of how the most isolated country on Earth built a nuclear arsenal almost entirely on stubbornness, black market deals, and sheer defiance. Now, we've covered 8 nuclear powers so far, and there's really only one major piece of this puzzle left: the country that spent decades insisting it doesn't even want the bomb, while the entire world argues about whether that's actually true. Next episode, we're diving into Iran.